Typhoons have been a constant visitor to the Philippines. As a matter of fact, 20 of them batters the country every year. Yet once in a generation, a storm comes that defies all expectations. Its destruction is so absolute that it carves itself into memory, never to be forgotten. This typhoon was named Haiyan, locally known as Yolanda. On November 8, 2013, it struck with a fury, unlike anything the country had ever seen, turning an ordinary morning into one of the darkest chapters in the nation's memory. To call it record-breaking would be an understatement. Haiyan was a storm of unimaginable power, the most violent tropical storm the world has ever witnessed. Scientists have delivered a grim warning: Haiyan won't be the last of its kind. According to a study from the University of the Philippines, even stronger typhoons are expected within this century. The more unsettling thing is that they may strike sooner than we think. Before we dive into the details of this chilling possibility, let's first jump back in time to the day when a typhoon changed the nation forever. November 2, 2013, just over 400 kilometers southeast of Pohnpei, meteorologists spotted a cloud disturbance in the Pacific. At first, it seemed nothing unusual. As the system moved west, it fed on warm tropical waters and grew stronger. By midnight on November 4th, it was upgraded to a tropical storm and given a name, Haiyan. But this quickly escalated. By November 6th, Haiyan had rapidly intensified into a supertyphoon, on par with a Category 5 hurricane. Its winds surged to 241 kilometers per hour. Its size expanded beyond 800 kilometers wide, and at its center, a compact 14-kilometer eye held the storm's full, terrifying power. On November 8th, it made its first historic landfall in the Philippines, slamming into the city of Guiuan on the island of Samar. Wind speeds had peaked at 314 kilometers per hour, the highest ever recorded at landfall. In just a few hours, Haiyan made landfall in Tacloban City, the capital of Eastern Visayas. A massive storm surge, rising up to nearly 6 meters, roared into the coastline and surrounding towns. It struck with such sudden force that many locals were caught completely off guard. By the time the typhoon moved into the South China Sea, it had left behind a trail of destruction so vast and so catastrophic. No storm in the country's history could compare. The damage simply shocked the entire nation. When news of the approaching storm first broke, few in the Philippines paid it much attention. After all, the country is no stranger to typhoons. But what caught everyone off guard was the storm surge, a towering, unforgiving wave that turned the expected into the unimaginable. Over 800,000 people were displaced in the first week alone, a number that quickly soared to 4 million. In total, more than 16 million Filipinos were affected. Countless homes have been damaged, half of them reduced to nothing. To illustrate further how a single storm can come close to changing the course of human history, we'll just need to look back at the Bola cyclone. On November 12, 1970, this Category 4 cyclone slammed into what is now Bangladesh, with winds reaching up to 185 kilometers per hour. On paper, it wasn't the most powerful storm ever recorded, but what made it catastrophic was a deadly mix of timing and geography. That night, under a full moon and during high tide, the storm struck. The result was a massive storm surge that swallowed entire coastal communities. Bangladesh, sitting just 2 meters above sea level and home to millions, was completely exposed. In a matter of hours, over 600,000 people perished. And the disaster didn't end there. What followed was even more devastating: famine and political upheaval. By every measure, Bola was the deadliest storm in recorded history. With such grim scenarios for the impacts of super typhoons, imagine more of them making a landfall. But this grim scenario is entirely probable. Scientists warn that megastorms may soon become the norm, not the exception. But why? The main reason that scientists are looking is climate change. The Philippines lies along the Ring of Fire, a region notorious for its seismic and volcanic activity. Volcanic heat rising from beneath the earth subtly warms the surrounding atmosphere. When this heat meets the warm, moisture-laden waters of the Pacific, it creates ideal conditions for typhoons to take shape and gather strength. Now, add the growing influence of climate change. Rising global temperatures are supercharging this already volatile mix. During the year of Haiyan, the Earth had already warmed by about 1.3 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial times. That rise in temperature didn't just change the air, it heated the oceans, silently storing vast amounts of energy beneath the surface. Currently, we're already breaching the 1.5 degrees threshold, and with every fraction of a degree the planet warms, the consequences grow more severe. Warmer oceans mean more evaporation. More moisture in the air means heavier rains, stronger winds, and storms that strike harder, grow faster, and behave more violently than ever before. In a striking example, December 2024 saw a relentless wave of destruction as 6 typhoons hit the Philippines in just 1 month. Based on recent studies, climate change has nearly doubled the likelihood of such an extreme typhoon season. Their findings revealed that wind speeds had climbed by an average of 14.5 kilometers per hour, and rainfall levels far surpassed anything seen in previous decades. But what's more alarming is that these storms are evolving. Much like unstable spinning tops, future typhoons could unleash stronger winds while moving more slowly, allowing them to linger over land and intensify the damage. Their paths may grow more unpredictable, making them harder to forecast and even more perilous. And if global temperatures continue their upward climb, storms once considered outliers may soon become the new normal. Positioned directly in the path of the world's fiercest storms, the Philippines faces an inevitable truth. A typhoon stronger than Haiyan will come. The real question is, how can the country prepare? What steps can be taken now to reduce the damage when the next monster storm arrives? In the years following Supertyphoon Haiyan, the Philippines began taking steps toward becoming more typhoon resilient. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, the country's lead agency for monitoring typhoons, has made significant strides in enhancing its forecasting capabilities. With enhanced satellite imaging, real-time data modeling, and more accurate storm track predictions, PAGASA can now issue earlier and more precise warnings. This has allowed for quicker evacuation orders and better coordination with local disaster risk reduction offices. Another big step the government's taken is making sure people know what to do when disaster hits, teaching everything from reading alerts to finding the nearest evacuation site. To keep students ready too, the Department of Education added disaster risk lessons to the school curriculum. And every year, the whole country joins in earthquake and typhoon drills, turning preparedness into a routine, not a reaction. In the end, super typhoons are not unfamiliar to the Filipino people. They are part of the harsh reality that this nation has long endured. Yet, they hold on to the unyielding belief that, even in the darkest moments of nature's wrath, God remains by their side. But what are your thoughts about this? If you love our story, please subscribe to be part of our community. As always, thank you for your support.